Hey guys, it's Ike. I didn't think that I would have to talk about Citrus until the inevitable Citrus Plus, which also, by the way, it's pretty embarrassing because when I wrote this script, it was supposed to come before the Citrus Plus. That's how I intended it, but you know, like 2 chapters of Citrus Plus later. Here we are. However, after letting it settle and rereading through the series, I thought I might as well provide my full review on Citrus. And also, for convenience, as all I have to do is to refer people to this video if they ask how I really feel about Citrus. Disclaimer, there is going to be minor spoilers. A little bit of a backstory, I first discovered Citrus back in 2012/2013. I thought it was pretty raunchy, and I also wondered how I even managed to get past the first volume. I can figure out how. It was a monthly release, and it was in manga form. I could get through it relatively easy compared to the anime. It was how I was able to get through the Tokyo Ghoul manga, but not even last the first episode of the anime. Just a fun fact for you. Long story short, Citrus has its own shortcomings, especially with the loop that got me to stop caring for the series. However, after the loop, I felt like I could take a step back and have a breath of fresh air. After the series ended, I took about 499 more steps back and gave Citrus a second look. Overall, it's a good manga and I respect the hustle. Saburuta does a fantastic job when it comes to characters, and she does it well when it comes to recognizing flaws in certain characters. The way characters grow up within their 3 years of high school makes those flaws seem like it's part of their charts. If you weren't following Citrus in its early years and you see it as character progression, then the mangaka has played her cards right. Switching gears and heading into the loop, which is essentially volume 1 to 4, Citrus had a major problem that prevented me from following the rest of its monthly releases until chapter 35. Here's how the loop works. A problem occurs and throws a stick into the gears. Drama happens, but it gets solved and our 2 lovebirds get 1 step closer. Next volume introduces a new character that causes problem and pushes back the progress Yuzu had with Mei. They fix the problem and get 1 step closer. Rinse and repeat. This was troubling when it was in its monthly releases. If I read Citrus for the first time after the series is done, I feel like I could get through it with minor complaints. Just a personal thought from me. I remember finishing up the last chapter of volume 4 and I thought to myself, I'm done with Citrus until it gets out of its loop. Eventually, it did, but that led to volume 5. I didn't enjoy volume 4 as much, and for a while, this was my least favorite volume until the anime came out. That's one good thing I can put on the anime, it made me appreciate the twins. Anyways, when I thought the loop was over in this volume, I was relieved. Then volume 5 came and it currently stands as my least favorite. I appreciate the development of Harumin, but it felt like volume 1 all over again with Yuzu getting in trouble for her look. This time around, I don't understand the danger factor. What makes it a high-risk situation? Yuzu's gonna get expelled? Okay. Why all of a sudden now? Just because Harumin's sister said so? I guess Grandpa likes strict women. It also introduces another character who I genuinely don't care about. She doesn't do much for the story anyways. However, after all of that, volume 6 and onward feels like progression. Everything moves towards a conclusion. Everything before that was just for building the platform. The romance between Yuzu and Mei does grow stronger, and it shows in volume 6 and 7, especially with Mei. 7, by the way, is my favorite volume. Not only does it introduce a character I've grown to love over time, it shows Mei's resolve in her love for Yuzu. There were a lot of context throughout the manga that I've missed, but it also gave me an excuse to read through the series again. Hints are placed throughout the manga that foreshadows and explains the colossal mess that is chapter 36. I'm not gonna go through the detail of the last 2 volumes since I've already made videos covering them. You can check them out in the corner of this video. I will say that it is a big character development for Yuzu, and it checks her resolve in her love for Mei. The climax, needless to say, is pretty cheesy. I said it in my final video and I'll say it here. It would work a lot better as an anime. I don't agree with the decision done in chapter 36, and I felt that because that was the route taken, the ending was going to be cliche. Despite that, it was still very heartwarming and I enjoyed it either way. The bonus chapter afterwards was extremely cute. It's a big plus. Overall, the storyline for Citrus, although I might have not agreed with it, I'm glad the ending snaps in perfectly with the rest of the story. So when you read through it again, some things start to click. The art is great, and it blends in beautifully when the smut appears. The characters are a strong point in Citrus. They all had their beginnings, and most of them grew up by the end of the story. I say most because I don't believe Nene grew up nor did anything relevant. On the other hand, we have Yuzu, who I grew to love a lot. She especially shines in the final volume. Haruman and Matsuri holds a special place in my heart, but after seeing what Yuzu went through, I can definitely make room for her. In volume 6, we had a scene between Yuzu and her friends. That was a big moment for her because she showed her insecurity about her relationship with Mei towards the reader. It was solved relatively quick the moment she told Mei about it, but I thought it was a really sweet scene. Speaking of Mei, actually, I feel like I said most of my piece with Mei in my other videos, especially the one about chapter 36, so you should just check them out. What kind of review is this where they just refer to you to their other videos? I know, right? Who does that? That's gonna be it for my Citrus review. If you guys need me, I'm going back to talking smack on Citrus. In all seriousness, it's an enjoyable series and quite the fun ride. Thank you guys for watching this, and shout out to Brian's Biscuit for being a patron, ya nerd. Yeah, I know you read the description. What a nerd! Please remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe. I've got my social media. Check me out on my Twitter, my Instagram. Got my Discord as well if you want to come on and hang out with me and some cool individuals. Also, I have my Patreon if you enjoy my content and you want to support me financially for just $1 a month. Other than that, thank you guys again for sticking around, and I will see you guys in the next video.